all your favorite wrestling shows rolled into one. Welcome to the We Book It podcast. Let's start the show.
Yo, what's up, We Book It fam? This is your boy Big Daddy C coming at you with another episode of the All Elite Recap Show, where we recap all things related to AEW Dynamite. So this week, yesterday on the on AEW Dynamite, they were in Philadelphia at the legendary 2300 Arena, the former home of ECW. And so this was bound to be a historic night, very action-packed night as well as we get closer to All Out. Basically, kicking off the show, we had Gabe Kidd getting kidnapped during his fight with Darby Allin. Gabe Kidd interrupted the rundown of the show. Basically to call out Darby Allin. Darby Allin will eventually make his way out, and those two will brawl. As Darby Allin gained the advantage, Wheeler Yuta of the Death Riders, John Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli and Marina Shafir, they all showed up as usual. Then here comes Hook to make the save, followed by Samoa Joe and Powerhouse Hobbs. Even Willow Nightingale arrived to clear the ringside of the Death Riders and make sure, Marina Shafir didn't have a part in this. And so crazy brawl to start the show. This basically ended with Kidd and Darby continuing to brawl backstage. Darby Allin would chloroform Gabe Kidd, trap him in a body bag, tie him to the truck, and drove off with him. Darby Allin, he's he ain't playing no games with the Death Riders, man. He is on point, bro. Next up we had let me see here. There was a segment where Hook he basically interrupted Samoa Joe and Hobbs backstage, questioning why the Ops replaced him. And Samoa Joe basically explained that Hobbs stepped up, but the Ops still wanted to help Hook. And so next up, we have our first match of the night. We had Mercedes Moné versus Alex Windsor for the TBS Championship. So early on, Alex Windsor had Mercedes Moné on the ropes, but eventually Mercedes Moné found a way to escape, rolling into a tight pin for the 3 count. Even after losing the match, Alex Windsor tried to show her respect, and then Mercedes Moné threw up the middle finger, and then Windsor would retaliate. So those two are brawling, and then Mercedes Moné would eventually get Windsor in the statement maker finisher submission. Then all of a sudden, Rio makes her surprise return to AEW to send Mercedes Moné packing instead of a TBS championship. We know Rio was the very first AEW Women's champion, and so this is a huge return on her part. And a huge return for the company as well. We'll see how things play out, whether or not Rio, goes out there, Mercedes Moné for that championship, for that TBS championship, as she has not held that championship. So this will be a nice one to see. Next up, we had Mark Briscoe versus Lance Archer. Mark Briscoe basically demanded Don Callis to reveal who he will fight from the Don Callis family. to earn another shot at Cal Fletcher's TNT championship. Don Callis will eventually come out there and announce that Briscoe will face Takeshita on Collision. Briscoe did not want to wait, and then Lance Archer would eventually accept the challenge. So this was a tough challenge for Briscoe. And basically finished him off with a sunset flip powerbomb and the froggy bow to seal the win. Match between these two. These guys have been around since, well, these guys have been wrestling for quite some time, just in various promotions. So good chemistry in the ring between Briscoe still has unfinished business with MJF. But he still, obviously Don Callis has got the Don Callis family got beef with everybody at this point. So like it is one of them situations where anybody can feud this with Don Callis family. And so we'll see how things turn out, Briscoe versus Takeshita. And so next up, let's see here. Let me see. There was a pre-tape promo video featuring Toni Storm. She basically begged every woman with a pulse to step up to be her next challenger. And she mentioned something about God doesn't judge, I do. That's my job. And so, we'll see who steps up to the challenge for that AEW Women's Championship. Next up, we had the AEW World Tag Team Championships. Bandido making their first title defense since winning those championships at All In. Not All In, Forbidden Door. Against they actually defeated, it was a triple threat match, them versus FTR versus the Hurt Syndicate, and they would get a shocking win to win those championships. So in this matchup, they... let me see here. So as Bandido and Brody King will pretty much roll over Will Yuta and Claudio Castagnoli, John Moxley, Marina Shafir would eventually get involved, as they do every match, to help steal the win for the Death Riders. And then out of nowhere, here comes Darby Allin. Attacking John Moxley, setting the stage for Bandido. Okay, I'm sorry. Basically, so John Moxley, the Death Riders got involved to help steal the win, to try to help steal the win, but eventually Darby Allin came and attacked John Moxley, setting the stage for Bandido to hit Willa Yuta with the 21 plex to get the win and retain their titles for the very first time. This is a pretty solid tag team match. Bandido, they held their own. They showed why they were worthy enough to have those tag team championships. And pretty much proving themselves against the Death Riders. So we'll see how long they can keep this run going. And who will be the next challengers. I would imagine, Her Syndicate, getting their rematch at some point. So we'll see what happens there. So next up, let's see here. Will Yuta backstage, he interrupted Chris Statlander and Harley Cameron's interview. Riders will have their back. And then, of course, the crowd, that was booing Will Yuta the whole time. Like they out of all the Death Riders, he gets little to no love out of everyone, out of those guys. So it's just is one of those unfortunate situations there. Next up, we had basically a segment with FTR and Christian Cage and Adam Copeland. See, I said I was going to be calling them Edge on the show, but it is what it is. So yeah, we had this segment here. Christian Cage and Edge basically address the whole FTR situation. And so during this time, Dax and Cash Wheeler would attack Adam Edge during this entrance. Chris Cage would come out there and make the save, and that's what led to the brawl that they had. Various locker room stars would come out there to help break up the fight. When Edge and Cage had backed down, Adam Priest and Hardwood threw a few more punches at each other. This segment was on point, man. A lot of fierce, a lot of hatred, so much intensity in these segments and fights between these two tag teams. And then you get other people involved and makes it even that more chaotic. So you gotta love it. Makes you just impatient for the all out pay-per-view to get here, because we know it's gonna be in Toronto, and we know what Toronto is to Edge, I can't wait to see this play out, and so we know FTR also has their history with Edge. They helped train him, upon his like major return to professional wrestling when they were all in WWE. So yeah, we'll see what happens with this, with this match. I can't wait for it. So there was another backstage interview with Renee Paquette, Okada, basically him telling Takeshita to step back into his shadow. AEW did air another hype video for Jon Moxley versus Daniel Garcia. Stokely Hathaway will make his return backstage to warn Edge in case their revenge was coming. FTR would challenge Priest to find a partner to fight them on Collision. Ricochet and GOA also got called out. They also called out the Hurt Syndicate for a match at All Out to finally deal with the issues they've been having dating back before AEW. The Hurt Syndicate would respond, accepting the challenge, including MVP announcing that he was stepping back into the ring. So that's major surprise there. It's been a while since MVP has been, wrestling in the ring. We know he kind of had some leg injuries in the past. So it'll be interesting to see what he has left, and see how long he can go in the ring. So stay tuned for that to play out. Next up, we have our main event: Hangman Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and JetSpeed versus the Young Bucks and the Don Callis family. So Cal Fletcher and Josh Alexander was in there on behalf of the Don Callis family, teaming with Mad Nick Jackson, the Young Bucks. They all were working well together. It just seems like any team that you pair the Young Bucks up with, whether it's the opposition or ally, it seems that the chemistry is always there. The Young Bucks would take out Adam Page, Kenny Omega, and Speedball Mike Bailey outside, and then an Indie Taker with Alexander and a Brainbuster from Cal Fletcher for the win. The Don Callis family arrived in force to lay out all of the faces on this match, and the Protostar would eventually end everything by planting Adam Page on he planted him with the Brainbuster on a steel chair, and then Kenny Omega tried to fight them off alone, but took a chair to the gut and a Brainbuster through the table outside. So that was pretty much the end of everything. Kenny Omega would eventually get stretchered out. And then Don Callis was basically laughing as this is happening. And once again, Kenny Omega gets taken out. Seems like this is the third time within the same calendar year, or at least within the last year, that he's been taken out, and stretched out, or whatever you want to call it. We'll see how things play out here. Speedball did look phenomenal throughout this match, keeping all the action rolling. there was some teases throughout the match. The elites were, there was some elite teases were well timed. And then, but it didn't ruin the pace of the match, which is what I like to see. But seeing Kenny Omega and Adam Page teaming up for the first time in about 2 years is awesome to see. And we know the rivalry that they had for that AEW World Championship. So yeah, man. Hopefully, we get some more action with these guys, particularly Hangman, Adam Page, and Kenny. But yeah, that was the main event. So yeah, basically Kyle Fletcher, Josh Alexander, Matt and Nick Jackson defeated Page, Kenny Omega, and the JetSpeed, Mike Bailey, and Knight, Kevin Knight. And so my thoughts on the show overall, like I said, this is a jam-packed show. Very action-packed. Oh, there was another, I forgot one moment. Taz got announced as the first inductee into like the Hardcore Hall of Fame for the 2300 arena. So that was amazing to see. We know Taz, his relationship, his experience being an ECW alum. We know what he's meant and brought to that organization during the time. And even after it ended. And so you can't talk about the story of ECW without Taz. And so it was an honor to see him, get that respect and that induction. They even hung up a little banner for him too. So that was nice to see. So yeah, this has been the make sure I'm not forgetting anything. Let me see. Yep. So we pretty much got everything here. I thought it was a solid show. We gearing up for all out, which is going to be in Toronto. So it's going to be just about as jam packed of a show. I don't know if it's going to live up to All In, but I think it has the potential to be like the second best show of the year for AEW. So we'll see how that plays out. This has been your All Elite Recap show. Big Daddy C signing out. Last but not least, keep those booking pencils sharp and keep on booking. Peace.